everyone, I'm back, hopefully better than ever, and definitely ready to tackle this winter and looking forward to calving season arriving in March. Wanted to tackle a subject that's been on a lot of people's minds the last several weeks, and that is the beef price debacle and President Trump announcing that they are going to be importing Argentinian beef, and kind of if that's going to be affecting Alaskan prices and how the Alaskan cattle market kind of works. I'll do my best and hopefully you'll gain a better understanding after this video. So in the lower 48, all cows start out at the cow-calf level, meaning they're born on these ranches. The cow-calf producers will raise them up till they're about 6 months, and at weaning time, they'll sell them to the backgrounders or stalkers. And the backgrounders or stalkers will continue to put weight on them up until they're about 900 pounds. And then the calves are bought by feedlots. And the feedlots keep them for the remaining 90 to 300 days. And then they sell them to the meat packing plants. Meat packing plants decide what they're going to pay. They set the price and then buy them from the feedlots. And they can choose where they're going to buy from, if they're going to buy from, and if they choose not to buy from the American rancher, then that puts the entire system at risk and contributes to the loss of more producers. So in 2020, JBS, one of the big four packers, decided to manufacture a cattle shortage, a beef shortage, by importing Canadian beef and bypassing American ranchers. Now, we do have a overall beef shortage, overall cow population shortage, but at the time, there were still plenty of cattle to buy from Americans. So by bypassing American cattle and buying Canadian cattle, they drove the prices up, and if you remember, there were a lot of grocery store shelves empty. Now, what this did for a lot of consumers, including Alaskan consumers, is made them realize they couldn't be dependent on the grocery stores for their meat source. So instead, they started going to the American rancher. American ranchers saw an opportunity to not be so reliant on auction houses or feedlots or the packers and started direct-to-consumer marketing. Now, Alaska, by contrast, there are no stalkers, no backgrounders, and no feedlots. That is all self-contained under cow-calf operations, like myself. What that also means is that we're keeping these animals longer, and so our cost is higher. Our cost for inputs is also higher overall, but the longer you keep an animal, the more money that you're putting into it. So you have to be able to make a profit. Now, most ranchers, producers up here still aren't making a profit, but we have more control over our pricing. Alaskan's cattle market, as I'm explaining, is determined by a few things. Number one, supply and demand. We also have very low supply. However, we have much higher demand due to COVID opening a lot of people's eyes to the fact that we don't have great food security. Number two, what the consumer is willing to pay. So if a consumer is not willing to pay a certain producer's price, then eventually prices have to adjust accordingly. You can typically find somebody that you're willing to buy from. Three are input costs. Our input costs are higher than pretty much anywhere else in the nation. So again, that those input costs reflect reflect in the price of the animal. There we go. So Alaskan producers have a lot more control over who they can sell to, and if they can't find that no consumers are willing to pay for it, then they have to adjust. Another thing that affects American cattle prices, which is kind of silly, is the color of the hide. Angus has done a great job marketing their cattle. I applaud them for that. However, it has put into the minds of a lot of people that you can't make a profit on your beef if you don't sell Angus cattle. And when you dig deeper into that, most of them aren't really even Angus. They're just black-hided cattle. Alaskans aren't bound by those arbitrary rules. We can sell whatever beef we want because at the end of the day, it's not the hide that makes the difference. You don't eat the hide, you eat what's under the hide. So out here right now, I have some black steers. I have some light-colored steers. I've had some red steers. And does anybody know it? No. Because my beef prices aren't, my ability to sell beef isn't dependent on whether an arbitrary market is going to buy it. The consumers don't care, so I don't care. So hopefully, I feel like I rushed through that really, really fast, but hopefully that gives you an idea of what determines the beef prices up here. Overall, I don't think it's really going to affect the import of Argentinian beef. I don't think it's really going to affect our beef prices. It's not going to affect mine. It might make grocery store prices a little cheaper, but I'm willing to bet it doesn't. So, anyways, keep supporting your local beef producers, and you don't have to worry about whether your beef came from Argentina or not. Have a great day.